Slow down, one more step in every single direction, love, just to make sure love won't stop till we cover every angle, every second guess. Such a beautiful mess, such a beautiful mess with you.
Okay, Sid, how you doing, man?
All right, how you?
I'm doing good.
David Thiele, it's a great pleasure to have you on the show. I've got to say that, you know, we've done quite a few interviews with indie artists, but just looking down your CV, it's almost like you're famous already. You've won quite a few awards, numerous awards, almost too numerous to mention. Would you say that you're having a great deal of success at the moment in your life?
Yeah, I guess so. You know, I mean, people are liking what I'm doing, and, you know, I get people asking about it all the time, about new stuff, and when I'm playing my next shows and all that kind of stuff. So, you know, I feel good about it. You know, it's always more that I can be doing, or, you know, more that I want to do. But at the moment, I feel pretty good about what I've been able to accomplish. Yeah.
Has your timetable been according to plan? For example, tell me about the early years when you first decided that this was, you know, what you wanted to do. You wanted to be a music, a songwriter, a singer, musician, all of those things. Many years ago, did you foresee yourself today having the amount of success that you have today?
Well, I was hoping I'd have more than what I have now. But no, I started at, well, seriously, like when I was 15. I mean, I started playing instruments earlier on in life and just like taking lessons and stuff. But when I was 15, my brother and I started a band, and, you know, it was like in the hair band days, and, you know, Dokken and Warrant and all that kind of stuff. And
wow.
So, you know, I had the long hair and the whole thing, and the 15-year-old lead guitarist, and I was singing background vocals and just doing it and writing songs and just starting it out. But I loved doing it, you know.
And this was in Chicago, yeah?
This was back in Chicago. I grew up in Chicago, yes.
What part of Chicago?
Well, it is. It's within the city limits, but it was like right by O'Hare, the airport over there. So it's like the northwest side of Chicago.
I see. So for any of our listeners out there, then maybe they know where you lived.
Yeah, exactly.
You say you and your brother got together, but do you actually sort of come from a musical family?
No, you know, it's funny. I don't. My parents, you know, my dad can't. He can't sing a tune to save his life, and my mom could sing, but you know, there was never any like instruments or musical things going on in my family. So it's kind of weird, you know.
So what made you pick up the guitar then, or the piano?
Well,
because you play both.
Yeah, I started on piano. I guess when I was a little kid, you know, I don't know, if I was 3 or so. I was playing this little toy piano, and my Aunt Rose would always tell my mom, "You need to get him into piano lessons. He loves it." You know, I kept banging on the toy piano. And so when I was about 5, my mom put me in piano lessons, and I started doing that. And, you know, I liked it. You know, I hated the practicing, but I found that I liked learning things by ear more than anything. I would listen to the stuff and be able to figure it out and play it, you know, better than trying to read the music and stuff. So.
What was your journey like from going from Chicago to LA? Was that a big move to leave your familiar surroundings, your family? Did you get on a bus with, you know, a couple of dollars in your pocket and rough it, or what was the deal?
No, I mean, it's not the typical story. You know, it's I actually moved, and I lived in Nashville first. I moved to Nashville when I was about 20. And lived there for about 5 years. So I learned a lot about songwriting and producing and stuff there. Had a band while I was in Nashville and produced song demos for BMG Music Publishing and stuff like that. So it just wasn't the place, you know, for pop music. So
as I was saying at the beginning of the interview, David, you know, you sort of already have a great deal of experience and, you know, have been fairly successful. And then I read that you've actually worked with Stephen Miller, also the Dave Matthews Band, and Jack Johnson. Did you meet them in Nashville? Is that how that came about? No. Stephen Miller was the guy who produced, and it's not like the Steve Miller Band, Stephen Miller. It's another guy. It's another producer guy, engineer guy in town here in LA. But he's worked with Dave Matthews Band and Jack Johnson and stuff like that. He's all done some engineering and mixing and producing and stuff like that. So I worked with him on my latest record, you know, the ones you're hearing with LA and or the other song. Anyway, Uptight and all that kind of stuff. That was my latest record that I worked with him on. So no, I never met any of those other people. Oh, right. Working with Steve Miller and a new producer now, how much of your initial music, the way that you used to present your music, has changed because of that, or have you stuck to, you know, how you wanted to put it across many years ago?
Well, that was interesting because I've always produced myself. You know, I've always been the only one that I, did what I wanted to do. And this time I worked with this producer, and he's great, great guy. And, but we butted heads on a few different things, tempos and whatnot, and some performance things. And, looking back at it, I'm really happy with some of the decisions that he made, and on other aspects, I wish I would have, been able to make my decisions the way I wanted to do it, So I struggle a little bit with being happy completely. I don't think anyone ever is, but I learned a lot, though, definitely. It's
a really exciting time, as I can see that the track of the month winning song you had with Beautiful Mess is actually about to break through now in 2008. And I know you've re-recorded a new version that we'll be playing. I wanted to find out, however, the story behind a song like that. It's got a very bittersweet feeling to it, a little bit of irony. Can you tell us about how the lyrics were inspired, or if it was written about something or someone in your life?
Yeah, it was definitely inspired by a real life relationship. I was in Nashville and dating someone, and it turned out to be more serious than I was ready for, or more demanding of my time and stuff, and I was really pursuing my music real hard, go-getter and doing the whole thing, and but all this distraction going on with this relationship and this needy person, and I don't know. So it was just but I loved her, and I was just kind of stuck in this, what do I do? I have to think about my life and do what's best for me and what I really want in the long term, so Beautiful Mess, that's basically what it is. It's just a big beautiful mess of a relationship.
So really it's all about women, isn't it?
Yeah. A lot of it is. Totally.
That sounds like it was a sacrifice you had to make in order to pursue your music. Would you say that was one of the biggest ones, or was there other sacrifices that really made you go before you went the lonely route of the musician?
Yeah, it's been a lot of it has been relationships and not working out, or that whole thing. That's a big sacrifice. It's a lot of time being creative. And I'm married right now, but being creative is just it's a full-time job. It's always going on in your head, and you can find yourself being distracted a lot, and not being able to put 100% into a relationship because you're distracted with this new song idea I'm coming up with, or trying to figure out the right line, and so it's tough, man. Relationships definitely struggle when you're an artist. It's crazy.
For sure, you sacrifice Christmases and family gatherings, and you miss birthdays. We know all about it here for sure.
Yeah,
I was watching your YouTube video of the song Trying. You were playing on piano. I think it was at the TVIFF Awards.
Yes, yeah.
I was really overwhelmed by the soul you had behind that. And I would encourage all of our listeners to go to YouTube and look for David Thiele and check that particular video out. It shows how the struggle, not only with relationships, but here particularly you're talking about being a musician. Can you tell us about how it feels to be an indie musician on the bad days, and then of course, consequently, the good days, because there are one or two of those too as well, right?
Yeah, totally. I mean, things like this is great that you guys want to interview me and play my music, and it's awesome. These are the good days, that song was totally inspired just, by the struggle of having to go through so many no's, and so many years of just trying your hardest to do this thing that you have to do. It's not that sometimes I don't want to do it. Sometimes I wish that I couldn't, that I could just kind of give up and